Yeah, only 30 minutes late, but that's how we roll. It's not a problem. I still decided to go live today because there is some stuff to talk about. I wasn't originally because I was going to be late and I kind of felt that already happening, but here we are. So let us get into our normal little show that we like to do here, huh? All right, so yeah, there's a lot of red. What has been going on? We'll talk about that. Bitcoin rising down, well, dropping down. That was the wrong use of terminology, but we're dropping down here. We hit our resistance at 107,000. Current price is 107,626, and we're down 3.25%. Of course, dragging down the rest of the altcoin market with us, with other tokens dropping 5, 4, 5, 6, 7% on average. So it's not been that great of a day compared to, yesterday. Bitcoin was at all-time high levels, kept on making new highs, right? Everybody was rejoicing from that. But all good things come to an end. Is the bull market over? No, absolutely not. This is a healthy correction. We're still in an uptrend, and validation at 104K. We're still perfectly fine, right? You could even say, yeah, 105,000. That was actually like this drop, a bit more contained than what I expected. I was hoping, or at least expecting, not hoping. I really don't want to see this happen, but I was expecting a price drop to around this zone, which it can still happen due to weekend decay. Tomorrow will be Saturday, and Saturday is typically very low volatility, as we all know. So, let me just readjust this over here. Is my stream even up? Yes, it is. I'm looking at my YouTube studio here. Okay. Yeah, so that's what I'm expecting for this weekend, likely. If nothing happens by Saturday, like no price decay, maybe some volatility happens Sunday. Why? Jerome Powell will be speaking. What will he say? God knows what this guy's going to say on a Sunday evening, afternoon. It's at 2 p.m. he will be talking. So we shall see. In the meantime, all right. This was accurately called for. 112K was our resistance. Will be very difficult to break out of because it is a fib extension line, also coinciding with resistance 3 from pivot levels. You can ignore these ones. I don't think we'll have to worry about those. This will stay here permanently, though. 122K. And then my favorite number, 135K. It's not my favorite number. It's just a target that I've personally set, which I do expect us to reach. Even higher, maybe, but I'm going to keep it super conservative and just drop it at 135K. Because after this fib extension level, like, what do you even see? The sky's the limit. 170,000? Sure, maybe. And then 220, 234. Yeah. I do expect Bitcoin to end up like around up here within this chunk of land. I know it's a massive area to cover, but still something I'm expecting where we should, like, in terms of a bit more of an aggressive target from most analysts, they are predicting Bitcoin to be ending up around this zone by end of year. Maybe, right? I don't know. I still think a big drop will be imminent. Not this soon, of course. We are seeing M2 money supply rise, right? So that's still it's still a good indicator of what's to come, and it does point up here. But I do want to take some profits as well and reload, kind of, to say, use that term. But then the issue is, if I do take profits, where do I start accumulating from again? And also, this chart looks so tiny after I've zoomed out that far. Like, that's just my main issue here. I don't know what to do after I've taken profits. Like, I took profits from Bitcoin in the futures market. What do I do next, right? Like, I mean, that's what we're here for in the futures market. If you want to hold on to Bitcoin for what Bitcoin is, you would do that in the spot market. I'm just doing this to increase my exposition since I don't have a large capital, according to what most people would consider large. But anyway, and like, it's, in my opinion, worth the risk of using leverage to try to increase my capital as much as I can. When I have a big capital, if I do get lucky enough, or people say lucky, but realistically, you're doing your own research and everything. If that is the case, then I'd have to start looking into other forms of preserving wealth instead of, making wealth, which I would have already made by the time if things do go according to plan, right? So that's my vision for now. And the growth here is limitless, something that no job will ever pay me. Only the market will pay me for being right. And I have plans, of course. If this continues dropping, I'm just going to accumulate way more. I've got so much ready to accumulate. I say so much, but it's really not that much. I mean, compared to what I've got invested, it's like a 60-40 ratio. Like 60% of my account balance is already in positions. And I have 40% that is just waiting on the sidelines for a big crash, right? Who knows if we're ever going to see one, but I'm still preparing either way for both scenarios because you just never know. Who would have ever expected a crash like that, right? Who would have ever expected a crash like August 5, right? 48,900 Bitcoin after we just hit 70 something, 73. Yeah, that was not in anybody's plague book, I'm pretty sure. Honestly, if I had like a time machine, I would go back in time and be like, oh, do this, do that. No, but I'll keep this 80K here. Yeah. I mean, most of the stuff that I've called out for, like, us not dropping below this, us keeping this uptrend, although sure, I did probably have to readjust it a little bit, right? I was expecting this uptrend to be maintained. Exactly that played out. I'm happy with the price action, just looking back retrospectively, right? The uptrend that we currently have, it's still maintaining itself very solidly. But we are at the point, like, keep this in mind, we are at the point where we have finally reached a resistance. Sure, if it wasn't the all-time high resistance, it's the fib extension resistance that we have here. What's the next resistance, major resistance after this? Like, not even R5 reaches this high. You're looking at 122K. And I do feel like we would have to reload a little bit in order to get that. We absolutely can stay above 100,000. So that's something I am expecting to not break, right? I'm thinking maybe we could drop like this. Maybe, just maybe. If we are below 100K, like, I don't care anymore. I'm buying. I'm trying to think. But for here, I think we could stay in a range, right? M2 money supply though, oh gosh, it's still pointing upwards. I really find it hard to believe, but I'm probably just gonna be surprised, right? By Bitcoin's price action. Who knows? Maybe we do just immediately increase to 112,000. Bitcoin has proven to move thousands of dollars per day, so no, I wouldn't discard that possibility. We shall see. Anyway, lowest point 106,000 today. That was quite the drop, causing the rest of altcoins, of course, to shake out. Some uptrends being kind of broken, but I mean, this is still valid. Realistically, you could still have this going on. Can you even draw it from here? What if I did it from here? I think this might be the most probable scenario. Although I hate how this looks. What if I drew it from here instead? No, still not good. Yeah, this is really goofy. Who knows? All right, we'll keep this just like that for now. It seems like we are in a range, though. You can notice this that has been going on. Still not invalidated in terms of an uptrend, though. Super trend is still bullish for Ethereum. 2,531 is current price, down 5%. Trying to break out of that resistance of 2,740, but we are unable to. Try again later, I suppose. Yeah. Solana, 174, dropping from 187. Quite significant drop here as well. Slow down at least at this support level. Did I mention this before? I hope I did. Either pivot or support was going to slow down this movement. Because I was expecting a drop. I'm always expecting a drop. Especially from sharp price movements toward the upside. You will notice that markets do correct. And I actually have been taking advantage of this. I'll reveal another strategy that I have kind of been doing. Is I would look at coins that have risen a lot. Today's a terrible example for this, but just look at this process. Let's just say something rose 9% today, right? Something crazy like this over here. You see that it starts ranging for a while. You can say, okay, I'm going to short this, right? You are using a terrible risk-reward ratio because you're expecting to get liquidated. You will not be using a stop loss. I typically would do maybe 3x leverage on a short just to be kind of safe. Let's say you risk $1,000 on that. With a small price correction downward like this, you can make 100 or maybe 200. You immediately close that position. Because you're not planning to short forever. Because you're just asking to be liquidated if you're shorting something long term. Right? Even the name doesn't make sense in that case. If you're short selling the market, you should expect to take some quick profits, right? You should ideally, like, shorting is just to go on with your strategy if you follow market trends or something. I'm doing this as like a reversal, like a pullback kind of strategy. I would have absolutely entered in this if it existed on Bing X, but it doesn't. Is this FOUR or FORM? Oh, they do have it. They have it in perpetual futures, but not standard futures. Is it time? Do I have to like switch over? Also, I would like to have a single asset mode. Is there even a way to do this? I'm in a bonus mode. Okay. I'm not going to be entering any bonus positions. There's no volatility the weekend. I'll hold on to my bonus positions for later. How many bonuses do I have? One? Yeah. All right. Anyway, but yeah, something like that is what I would do, right? It's just so that, you know, the money that I have on the side, it's just not there doing nothing, right? I want to, like, try to make something out of that every day if I can. And, hey, if the whole market goes up and that one short gets liquidated, I don't really care because I have, like, a million other positions that are already in long and are just going to eat up that loss and continue higher, and I will still be making profits. That's the way I'm kind of looking at it. I'm not going to be shorting everything all the time. I will only short something very specific, something that has gone a little bit too much, maybe something worthless like a meme coin. Can short that and take some quick profits from that. It's worked so far. I've tried it a couple times this week. I'll keep trying it, and I'll let you guys know how that goes. And yeah, like I said, like it's just one short at a time, maybe two if you're feeling a bit spicy, but typically it should go your way. You should win most of the time due to the risk reward ratio, but when you lose, it's going to hurt, right? But I mean, if you won 10 times and you lost one in the example of you're risking 1,000 to make 100, in that case, it's like nothing happened, right? And then if the rest of your assets are going up, it's the same thing, right? Nothing happened. There's nothing to be worried about in that case because you're still making profits from the rest of your long positions that you have. So one short getting liquidated is not going to be a big deal, right? Maybe you could outsmart the market, you could outpace it, maybe you make huge profits from a short position because market drops faster than what it rises, right? You'll always notice this. Sharp declines and then slow rises. If you look at it like zooming out, sure, it does look like this, but I mean, pay attention to these drops as well, right? Like, come on. These drops are brutal. Sometimes you will get good rises and you would want to be in the market in a long position during this time, right? After you've made profit from a short, you would use that money to buy it again to go long once again. Although it's difficult to predict like where exactly things will go, but I think you're getting the point. Anyways, a lot of explanation on that, but yeah, decided I wanted to share that. XRP is not doing as great either. It slowed down at the 230 as expected. Current price is 231 and down 5.48%. Why is my vehicle sending me notifications to my phone? Next oil change schedule. Yeah. My maid will take care of that. I'm going to readjust this for now, but I think further readjustment will be needed for XRP. Could see some resistance at 250 still. That's the level I'm looking at. Pivot level is looking at 246, but this will be erased by next week. We should start with fresh pivot levels, which I'm assuming this should probably rise to around here, or maybe just close enough to the 250. The 250 will stay here because it's an important resistance based off fib retracements, if I'm not mistaken. I want to see even, where did I draw this from? Yeah, this is valid. So this is looking at potential resistances that we might encounter on our way back up. $3 seems to be obviously a very major one. So I'll also just have that noted. $3. And this is, I'm assuming, $2. Yes, that's also a major resistance. I mean support in this case. If it was a resistance, that would be quite devastating. All right, not looking too bad for XRP. Like, for a long-term outlook, I'm still pretty bullish on it. Like, it's still got the potential to rise. It's sort of like picture Ethereum, right? It's got that same kind of speculative projection toward the upside. I don't know how else to explain it, but it's like it's gone up, it's recovered, and it's on its way back up, and it's still got a long way to go to reach its all-time high level. And it eventually does have to happen because there's much better fundamentals now. We might be getting an XRP ETF. Ethereum ETFs might be getting staking. Stuff like that. We'll talk more about that later as well. SUI is down 6%. It started dropping. It was one of the first altcoins to be dropping since yesterday because of the hack that happened. I have more information on that I'll continue to discuss today. But the uptrend's still not invalidated at all. It's still perfectly fine. Like this, I think we could probably remove it. Probably. To readjust it later on. But for now, like this other uptrend is still there. It's still valid. And invalidation zone would be SUI's price dropping below $3.40, which it has not done yet. I have put a trigger order ready over here because I'm very confident it will bounce off of that and continue to rise upward. $4 is easily breakable by SUI, and it's reached $4.30, I think is an important resistance. Matter of fact, I will draw something over here to just further emphasize this resistance in case this first resistance does get erased, right? This one is already close to the $4 one, so that's totally fine. And I'll even add the number 4 just so that I can remember it later. Next, we have Litecoin, $96.04, down 4.68%. I would like to see Litecoin drop a little further down, considering the fact that this uptrend can still take that. Maybe to 92, 93 could be an interesting point. So a couple more of a bit more of a drop is what I'm expecting to see for Litecoin still. I'm just coping because I haven't loaded up on Litecoin as much as I wanted to. It's the digital silver, and I wish I did load up on more. I do have trigger orders, a trigger order somewhere over here in this zone, probably. Which, I mean, it's still valid. If we do drop down below here and swing back upwards, easy uptrend readjustment to like wherever that needs to be. So it's not a big deal. And remember, Litecoin can reach 140 easily. I just think this is like guaranteed profit, honestly. Like looking at it from here, where it is right now to reach 140, easiest 45% of my life. And if you're using 3x leverage, which you shouldn't, what's 45 times 3? Oh no. 135. Yeah, it's not too bad. You could double your money. I switched over by accident. All right, Cardano. Cardano's been dropping significantly as well. One of the largest drops, 8.45% down today. Currently 74 cents, reaching a low of 74,257 or 74,868. I do want to see Cardano hit 72, so I could load up a little bit more. I did take some profits already from this rise over here. They weren't major profits, but they were something, and I got rid of ugly positions that I brain rottenly purchased at 80 cents for some reason, and 75. Now we're below that. We're at 74. I'm going to wait for 72 and enter another great position right there, because I have this similar feeling, right? We can easily drop to this area, swing back upwards, and just readjust the uptrend as needed, right? Because I don't think it will invalidate. If it does, then I'll prepare with more entries down here. That's not a problem as well, because bull run isn't over. Alt season hasn't even started yet. You're not ready for this. That's all I'm going to say about it. I still have a lot of faith in it. All right. Great. Yeah, cool. Let's move on. Let's talk about some news. I've already spent 20 minutes on technical analysis. 21 minutes. All right. Man, it's getting late as well. Justin Sun, I mentioned this yesterday, went to visit Donald Trump's gala dinner, since he was the top holder of the Trump meme coin. Looked like he had a lot of fun, so it's pretty neat to see. He also got gifted a golden watch, by the way. He gave a gold watch, Trump gave a gold watch to Chinese foreign national Justin Sun, who up until he invested $75 million into Trump's crypto company, the SEC was investigating him for fraud. After then pouring $23 million into Trump's meme coin, he got VIP access to Trump's dinner last night, where he was gifted the watch. Of course, Bryan Cranston just criticizing this. It's pretty funny, though. Yeah. Like, I don't know. Mixed feelings. I'm happy for him, but a lot of people don't like him. It's just the way it is. It's whatever. And of course, a lot of people don't like the fact that Trump did this whole dinner thing, especially the left. Hours before Trump's private crypto dinner, Representative Maxine Waters introduces the Stop Trump in Crypto Act to block the president and his family from profiting off digital assets while in office. This can go both ways, honestly. Aha, she has dealt with SBF and FTX before. Interesting, according to a comment account. Anyway, like, sure, Trump is getting rich off of this whole crypto stuff. It's no secret. We all see it happening in real time. Maybe there's some market manipulation involved, although I doubt it. He still seems like he is trying to help the crypto community. Although, you know, he's got to focus on a lot of stuff at the same time. I think the crypto community is being a little bit too greedy for this, right? Like, oh, he's clearly not prioritizing this Bitcoin strategic reserve. He just cares about, I don't know, Russia, Ukraine, or Israel, Iran, or India, Pakistan, whatever is going on in the world. And tariffs, right? So, yeah. Why is Grayscale trending? I just want to check this. Weekly all-time highs. Good thread. Worth to give a read. It's literally nothing. You're getting random stuff trending for no reason. Claude 4 is valid trending. New Claude AI upgraded Sonnet version, whatever you want to call it, has just come out. So that's pretty good. Bitcoin is dumping today. Oh yeah, I was going to explain. Why did we drop like this? Why? This is why. It's dumping after Trump announces a 50% tariff on the European Union. Again. It's happening again. And fears of the tariff stuff, it's causing the uncertainty in the market. It caused the volatility index to increase, caused US markets, the stocks, to drop down, caused gold once again to be on the rise. Where's my sources? I will show you those charts right now. If I can find them. Gold. Yeah, gold is up today. You'll notice S&P 500 is likely down, unless it recovered. No, it didn't. So yeah, down today. Oh, it officially flipped bearish on the super trend. That's no good. I want to draw something. Yeah, there you go. You're in a downtrend and Bitcoin is in an uptrend. I probably should not celebrate too early. Honestly, like who had it worse? Like from all-time high levels to um April 7 crash, S&P 500 dropped 21%. Bitcoin, I'm assuming Bitcoin dropped more probably. Looks like a 30% drop. Let me get the exact point. Dude, my eyeballs hurt. Okay, yeah, 32%. Okay, Bitcoin had it worse. But it recovered faster and to a higher level already. It's already past its all-time high. Meanwhile, the S&P 500 has not yet crossed its all-time high. Bitcoin's still better. All right, and what was I going to say? Oh yeah, so gold rise, S&P 500 drop, volatility index rise. It's kind of happening again. At least this could be the start of something bigger. We don't really know. But, you know, he also puts some tariffs on specific companies, such as Apple. Apple actually dropped 4% after President Trump says that iPhones must be built in the US or else they will face a tariff of at least 25%. This is a dig at Tim Cook, clearly, because he told Tim, like, hey, invest in the US. He's like, okay, I think he maybe dropped a couple bans here and there, but Trump really wanted him to stop producing iPhones in China. So he took that and moved it to India instead, Tim Cook. And Trump is like, okay, well, when I said I don't want you making iPhones in China, I meant you come to the United States to make them, not move them to somewhere else where you can get cheap labor, like India. So, no response. Trump is now threatening with this, saying, okay, I'm going to put tariffs on iPhones, making them even more expensive than what they already are. Curse iPhones. And yeah. Now Tim Cook must respond in some manner. But it's not just Apple. He will also be imposing a 25% tariff on Samsung products too, if they are not made in the US. Man, I really got to buy the Z Fold 6, unless the 7 comes out this year, before this whole tariff starts increasing the prices even more. You know the folding phones, right? That like it looks like a normal phone and then it opens up into like a literal tablet. Yeah, it's kind of what I want. I have a very old, it's not very old, 5-year-old phone, S20, Samsung, and it still works perfectly fine. Honestly, I should put in practice what I read on my channel in Spanish, where it says, be comfortable with the stuff that you have now. Because when you're greedy and you want to achieve more, you'll just end up not appreciating what you have now. So appreciate what you have now. So I will appreciate my phone until I download a virus and nuke it eventually. Who knows? So this is the first day, though, that Trump is targeting specific companies with tariffs. That is an interesting note. Different evolution from all of this is evolving just backwards. So yeah. Thanks to that, everything is dropping: Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc. And nearly $700 million in crypto positions have been wiped out in the past 24 hours. That's just today. And the green doesn't mean like it's good. The green is bad because these are long positions that were liquidated. And in total, it was $700 million in crypto in total. So not that great. And man, honestly, these insider whales are just lucky or something, because this guy deposited 4 million USDC at Hyperliquid, opened a 15x Bitcoin short position. That's not as big as the other whales that we have seen. Still a lot though. And that guy's definitely in profit. Entered at 110,900. This is kind of what I'm talking about, right? Do this kind of stuff. Short the market, but okay, not at an exaggerated rate like this. Obviously, I don't have millions to invest myself, so I wouldn't do something like this. But there's people that do it anyway, right? and they will eventually go with the flow. Like what I mean is something rises up a lot, a pullback is imminent, right? It's overbought on the RSI. It's going to have to drop, right? Because people will stop buying it. Nobody wants to buy the top. And there's a lot of shorters already there. People selling as well would make the price drop. Like people selling by taking profits is what I mean. So like the increase would eventually slow down. You see when it starts slowing down after it starts ranging at the top for a while, you'll say, okay, that is likely the top. I'm going to short, still with enough space so that you don't liquidate yourself. And then that way, you just take some quick profits. It could be a negative risk-reward ratio, although I don't recommend it, and a lot of traders don't recommend that, but honestly, money has to be made, man. It's, I know you got to follow rules and stuff, but you got to also take some risks if you do really want to make some wealth, right? And also, if you do funny M2 money supply, this is what I wanted to talk about. This dip was part of it, right? It was literally following it 1-to-1, the M2 Global Liquidity Index. This is with a 10-week lead in this instance. So, yeah. But if you're discouraged by this, just look at the rest. Like, come on. And oh, look at that. It's aiming specifically at 135K. Of course, this is speculative. We don't know for sure if it's actually going to hit that. But that's also one of my targets. Just coincidentally, the screenshot shows that. Really cool. And bottom line to take away from all of this, did Bitcoin deserve to drop today? The answer is absolutely not. Because there are no tariffs on Bitcoin. There's no tariffs on crypto, right? So it doesn't make sense for Bitcoin to drop. But if you're asking me why did it drop, the answer is simple. It's institutional investors. They're the ones, of course, selling off in the stock market. They also hold a lot of crypto, well, Bitcoin in this case, and the rest of the altcoins drop even more because Bitcoin drops a little bit. That's just how it works. They start selling off their Bitcoin because they're scared, or they're maybe just taking profits as well at the top. No big deal, right? We know how reactive Wall Street can get upon news like this with the tariff stuff. Just look at February 2nd, look at March 13, I think. Look at April 2nd, April 7th, right? So it's like, yeah, like they're the ones that are selling off a lot because they hold a lot. They're scared. What do they start buying? Bonds, gold. The volatility index starts rising. S&P 500, NASDAQ, Dow Jones, Russell, everything starts dropping, all those indices, because they're selling off their risky assets to hold something that is safe, such as gold, which it's not really that safe. And I think Bitcoin is safer than gold at this point. There's a lot of charts that would back up my ideas, but yeah, you get the point. Jim Cramer called the bottom indirectly. We know how inverse Cramer works. Literally this is so funny. So many people want to call a bottom. I think it's too early to do so. So he thinks that the bottom is not in yet. That means the bottom is in. Jim Cramer is notorious for do the opposite of what this guy says. So, and it's worked literally every time. Literally every time. So there we go. Bottom is in. I don't think we're going to be dropping a lot further, right? Worst case scenario, 100K. Okay. And this is absolutely the bottom of the bull market. No questions asked. So it's looking good. Looking good for the future. What else we got for the future? Retail is not here yet. Retail investors are peasants like you. Shrimp addresses, so wallets with less than 1 Bitcoin, are way below compared to May 2024 and January 2021. Guess what happens when these investors flood back in? I know it might not seem like a lot, people with less than 1 Bitcoin, but the amount of people, that adds up, right? It has to. That's bullish. Fed cutting rates soon. 2 rate cuts expected this year. Don't forget that. Also bullish for the end of this year. Especially if tariff effects remain small, which for now, everything is just being delayed and delayed, right? With these tariffs and also the ETFs. I'll talk about that in a sec. We are starting to see some come back on, but we technically know the playbook of tariffs now. It's just a mechanism to get these countries or companies, and at this point, to come to the table, right? To start talking about negotiating stuff and improving their prices, things like that. And Trump seems to really be focusing now more on companies. He's done it with Walmart. He's doing it with Home Depot as well. I have do I have it post save? Home Depot. No, I don't. All right. Tariff. No. Wait, March 23. I might have it. No, I don't have it. I have a lot of stuff in my bookmarks I gotta get rid of. What was it, man? Trump? Something Trump. No. I'm blind. Oh well, I might have deleted it already, but Home Depot said that they will not be increasing the prices of their goods that they sell in response to, what tariff stuff is going on. Unlike Walmart, for example, who said that they would be increasing the prices of their goods. And Trump said, you guys made a lot of money last year, so just eat it up. Eat up the cost of these tariffs for this year. Don't raise consumer prices or else, right? Bit of a threat. So now Walmart is like, okay. And then I don't think they're going to do anything else about it. Delays on crypto ETFs dropped today. Delays include Bitwise and CoinShares XRP ETFs. There's a delay on the Litecoin ETF filing. Delay on Fidelity's in-kind Bitcoin filing. On the more positive side, SIC acknowledged Canary's staked Tron filing. This is obviously reposted by Justin Sun, so that's why I included it here. What do we got? I can't read this. All right, just take the word for it then, it seems like. Those ETFs are just being delayed. Delays on spot crypto ETFs are expected. A bunch of XRP ETPs have dates in the next few days. It'll be interesting to see what we get from that. If we're going to see early approvals from the SEC on any of these assets, I wouldn't expect to see them until late June or early July. Guess what's happening there? M2 money supply is already skyrocketing by that time, even until August. It's just going to add more fuel to the fire. Keep increasing this bull market's intensity. I hope so, at least. If we're going to see any early approvals from the SEC on any of these assets, I already read that. At absolute earliest. More likely to be early Q4 of this year. Great. Can't wait to see that. Bitcoin is now higher than the Taiwan dollar's market cap. Just to give you the scale, Bitcoin is literally bigger than a lot of countries. It's just underperforming the actual big economies, right? China, US, Euro, Japan, Britain, Korea, Hong Kong. And then you have Bitcoin. Bitcoin's almost going to overtake Hong Kong dollar. Looks pretty good. All right. And of course, this is a healthy correction that we just saw to 107K after reaching a high of 111,900, almost 12,000. Capital continues to flood in. So this move is real and it might just be the start. Here's why. I'm going to read through this as fast as I can. The realized cap has just hit a new all-time high, 913 billion. Unlike market cap, it tracks what people actually paid for their BTC, capturing real conviction. Okay, that's interesting. So like the higher people buy, the higher this thing goes. So one of the cleanest signals that we have for long-term adoption, that just means like everybody, institutions, companies, people are just buying, even though Bitcoin is at like 100,000, right? Over the last 30 days, realized cap has grown by $42 billion. That's $42 billion in net capital inflows into Bitcoin across spot buyers, ETFs, institution, and sovereign grade allocators. This is how bull markets are built. Roughly 20% of that inflow is from spot ETFs. That's why ETFs can be good, right? They give you more exposition, they bring in the volume, they get the money flowing into the asset. Another 7.5% comes from MicroStrategy, huge contributor to this, right? They've been purchasing a lot, even at the tops, even at the bottoms, they're just buying all the time. That means nearly $12 billion is being absorbed by just these two sources and growing, right? From BlackRock and MicroStrategy, the biggest buyers of Bitcoin. Yesterday, BlackRock saw its highest daily inflows ever. Really? Let me confirm that. Oh, yeah. I checked this last night, but we didn't get the numbers for BlackRock. Now we do have it. It's $877 million. I think that actually is the highest ever. That is crazy. Because on average, it's like 100 million. Yesterday, they inflowed that much on an all-time high day. That's crazy. Today, it's looking like a bit of a sell-off, right? And as I mentioned, the institutions, the ETFs, they will sell off because they're scared and they would rather buy gold for literally no. You're just losing money. I don't understand why you're doing this. Maybe they're taking profits. Who knows? I'm not them. So yeah, profit taking is happening. That's what happens at all-time highs. But the sell side pressure is modest. We're nowhere near saturation, and Bitcoin's supply-demand balance is still looking strong, right? I do agree with this. I don't think there is a lot of shorts. I've checked liquidation heat maps, and it's just looking like a couple $1 million of just leverage plays. Nothing too major, right? It does diminish the possibility of short squeezes, but it's still there, right? The possibility of short squeeze. Speculative leverage is starting to build. That's normal in this part of the cycle, right? And that's why today's correction might be the healthiest thing we could ask for. A lot of longs got liquidated for people being a little bit too greedy, right? Just like a bit of a chill out move from the market. This move isn't euphoric, it's measured. There's strong inflows, minimal froth, and signs of deeper conviction. The recognition phase is here, but the top is likely far ahead. For now, I'm calling 135k. It's looking like it's going to be 180k, 200k, 220k. If you zoom out, Bitcoin just cleared 111k. Realized cap is climbing. ETF flows are surging. Leverage is starting to tick up. It's not a blow off, it's the start of a breakout. We are not in a hype cycle. We are in the early stages of a monetary transition. And that is it. Great. Good thread. Thank you. Tesla holds now $1.2 billion worth of Bitcoin. I'm not sure if this is from... I don't think they're accumulating. It's just the value of what they have, right? The Bitcoin that they already had. Kraken also will be doing a bit of tokenization on RWAs, which will be interesting. They will launch 50 plus tokenized stocks and ETFs, including Apple, Tesla, Nvidia, and also enabling 24/7 trading outside of the US. That is life-changing because a lot of exchanges, like regular brokers, don't allow you to do this. And this is where the power of blockchain or just crypto in general will come into full effect, right? This is what RWA tokens are meant for, right? And Kraken will be adopting it. It seems like probably first. I think Kronos, crypto.com, was also doing that, but it was only rolled out to the US and maybe some parts of Europe. I'm in Canada, so I didn't get none of that yet. But yeah, we shall see. Anyways, it's really good to see. FIFA partnering up with Avalanche to launch a custom Layer 1 blockchain, revolutionizing its digital game with collectibles, ticketing, and beyond. So if you play FIFA on your PlayStation, you're going to have an Avalanche blockchain integration on that, and you can do stuff with NFTs. I know you people like to collect random stuff like with the soccer players or whatever. I've never gotten into that, so I'm very uneducated. But hey, it's going to be powered on blockchain now, and I think this will be a thing for a lot of games coming up in the future as well. Things where you could buy like skins or custom items in the games, whatever it is, cosmetics maybe even. They are linked to your account, and I mean, they're on display there. That's literally the premise of what the NFTs were. But people just took it in the wrong direction and just started making Bored Apes, which is not on, my opinion. Anyway, Dubai government launches real estate tokenization pilot on the XRP ledger via local issuer, slashing transaction costs by 50%. This was talked about before. I mentioned it. And we just didn't know what blockchain they were going to be using. Well, it's confirmed now. It will be XRP. Which I also called it, by the way. I'm like, are they going to use XRP? Yeah, they ended up using XRP. That's crazy. Yeah, great. And a bit more talk about Sui here. CZ from Binance mentioned this yesterday. I probably forgot to say it. He will be helping Sui after the exploit, and that is just bros helping bros. It's nice to see CZ always helping out the partners. Every time there's some sort of a crisis going on, right? Happened with Bybit, happened with, I think, FTX as well. Maybe even, he was taking a dig at Kronos at crypto.com before, but that was just bad blood in the past. And also same thing with Doquan, I think, with Terra Luna. Could be wrong, whatever. Obviously, he says it's not a pleasant situation. Hope everyone stay safe. So, yeah. And here is Sui's official response to everything after they said that they were working diligently with Inca Digital, this is from CETUS Protocol, and analytics providers and law enforcement officials across the world to recover the $60 million worth of stolen funds. It was $200 million, but they froze the $162 million, and there's $60 million remaining, I assume. They're asking the SUI community to support protocol upgrade to recover the $162 million of frozen funds and return them to their rightful owners. No one can make this decision unilaterally. We propose an on-chain vote involving the network's major participants, because otherwise it wouldn't be decentralized. It would be centralized if these guys just made that decision for the users. No. So they had to get the community involved and have that vote on-chain, including validators and SUI stakers, to decide on whether this upgrade is in the best interest of the SUI community. We want to recover and return the stolen funds, but we will respect whatever the community decides. If they vote no, it's because of decentralization issues. If they vote yes, obviously it's probably the morally correct thing to do, but it puts in jeopardy that whole centralization idea, right? Decentralization. Thank you for your patience. We'll work closely with SUI validators and SUI Foundation on the details of implementing our proposed vote. They said here, yeah, we know. Here's how that happened. Each validator has a configuration file that allows it to ignore transactions from a specific address. It's just explaining how it happened. If you really want to read all that, you can go there. I'm trying to speed things up because it's getting late. Oracle will be buying 400,000 NVIDIA chips for $40 billion to power AI factory. Bullish for NVIDIA and maybe some AI tokens out there. Render, Near, the Graph, I think. Oh, whatever. I don't know them all by heart. You can check on CoinMarketCap, like, if you really care. Go to AI, and you'll see BitTensor, I forgot, Internet Computer, Render, Artificial Superintelligence, Fetch, Filecoin, Fartcoin. Is this not a meme coin? I'm pretty sure this is a meme coin. Okay, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm trying to see an About Me section of Fartcoin. It's literally a meme coin. It has this max supply. Are we sure? Really? Is this not a meme coin? I'm pretty sure this is a meme coin. Yeah, it is a meme coin. AI also has AI and big data. Okay, and it's using Solana ecosystem. That's something that I remember. Yeah, it's got all these are AI plays if you really care. Speaking of AI, Microsoft will be adding Grok to Azure. This is a bit late news, but it's happening. It seems like Microsoft is using Grok instead of ChatGPT, which is what they were originally doing when they partnered with OpenAI in the past. Cool. Screw OpenAI. 6 stock market strategies for people with no time. This is just for you if you don't really want to learn a lot about investing. Just wanted to share this with you guys. You can do index fund investing. Just invest in the S&P 500, NASDAQ, Dow Jones, Russell 2000, whatever you want. 2 million. No, 2,000. Dollar cost averaging is like, you just don't care what the price is. You just buy a certain amount every certain period of time. You can also invest in dividend growth stocks. Real estate investment trusts are really good. Or just big companies like Johnson & Johnson, Pepsi, Coca-Cola. There's also ETFs that have that are focused on giving you the highest return on dividends. Retirement accounts, 401k, IRA, stuff that you can do with, I don't know, your financial advisor. I'm not that guy. Rebalance your portfolio once per year, right? You personally decide which stocks you like or crypto or whatever, and every year you recheck on it. Or you could just check on it quarterly instead. Check on your portfolio quarterly. And yeah. We're kind of recovering. Seems like we found the floor at 107k. So that's pretty good. And Yeah, honestly, that is all. Don't expect too much volatility first tomorrow, and Sunday, just look out for what Jerome Powell talks about. Next week, we could be getting some economic data. No, I want to see this week, please. Monday. Yeah, Fed Chair Powell at 2:40 will be speaking on Sunday. Today, nothing happened. And next week, durable goods, FOMC minutes. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday was going to be important. I remember Thursday, we're getting GDP. Friday, we're getting PCE. Great. So yeah, look out just for end of week next week. Could be getting some volatility. That's exciting. But for the rest, just expect continuation of the uptrend for Bitcoin. Like I said, this correction is healthy. 112K is our resistance, 107 support. Worst case scenario, above 100K, and validation at 104, 105. Like just expect to see continuation of downward pressure. 100K would be an important support if this super trend does flip bearish. Like that. If price continues dropping like this. We'll have to see if we can hold on to 100K. But yeah, that is all for today then. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow maybe. I might be busy tomorrow.